Predict future price movement with the ADX indicator. Drawing trend lines and other technical indicators can give us a prediction as to the expected direction of the movement of a stock's price, whether that be up, down, or sideways in a narrow range. But traders also need to evaluate the strength or weakness of such movements. The Average Directional Movement Index, referred to simply as the ADX, is a technical indicator used to measure the overall strength or weakness of a trend. Keep watching to learn more about this tool, but first, please take a moment to like our video and subscribe to our channel. The Adx line itself is usually displayed as a black or blue line, and a numerical value between 0 and 100 is assigned to it. The line is drawn beneath a stock's price chart. This line should be at a value of 25 or above to indicate that prices are trending. The founder of ADX suggests that a value below 24 means no trend is currently present, and the stock price is moving sideways in a narrow trading range. Some traders use 20 and below as a non-trending sign. A rising ADX number, say from 15 to 20, can indicate a buy signal, though other technical indicators should be used for confirmation of this signal. In contrast, when the ADX value turns down from higher values, the current price trend could be coming to an end. This may be time to sell the stock if you own shares that have been in an upward trend. The ADX is a trend strength indicator, measuring the strength of a trend and whether or not a stock is in a trending or non-trending period. It can be confusing at first seeing the ADX line move upward, while the stock moves downward. But remember, the ADX lines does not indicate direction. It indicates strength. So if the ADX line is moving up and the stock price is moving down, this means that the downward trend of the stock price is strong. And the stock price is likely to continue to fall. It's important to understand what you are looking at in order to correctly interpret what the stock price and ADX lines are trying to tell you. Again, to make it clear, the slope of the ADX line is not an indication of the direction of the stock price. It reveals the strength or weakness of the current stock movement. Similarly, if the ADX line is falling, this doesn't mean the stock price is falling. It means that the strength of the current movement is weakening, whether that be rising or falling. Actually, the ADX indicator is a component of the directional movement system developed by Welles Wilder. It plots two additional lines to reinforce the strength or weakness calculated by the ADX. While the directional movement system indicator uses complex calculations to plot these lines, fortunately, reading and interpreting what the resulting graph is telling us is easy to understand. Many free stock charting websites will show both the ADX line and the additional direction movement lines, called the plus D line and the negative D line. These lines are directional lines, with the plus D line plotted in green and the negative D line drawn in red. These lines can be shown together with the ADX line to give an indication of both price direction and the strength of movement in that direction. You may see the D lines referred to as DMI lines, meaning Directional Movement Index. For example, if the green plus D line is above the red negative D line and the ADX line is greater than 25, then the stock price is in a strong bullish uptrend. Buy and sell signals can be determined by taking into account both the ADX and D lines. Knowing if a stock price is in a trending or non-trending, sideways, period, a trader can best decide to use a neutral or trending trading strategy. When D lines cross, they can suggest buy or sell points. A buy signal occurs when the plus D line crosses above the negative D line. This bullish signal is reinforced if the ADX line turns upward and the trend strengthens. A sell signal triggers when the negative D line crosses above the plus D line. As always, use support and resistance trend lines or other technical indicators to confirm buy and sell signals. Try the ADX indicator instead of the commonly used Relative Strength Index (RSI) indicator when evaluating stocks for your next trade.